video games, right, fellas? So, hi. I'm in the process of writing, recording, and working on a very large series. At minimum, it's going to be like 4 videos. So, it's not going to be done for this month. So, I figured a fun thing to do while I waste some time is, what if I did a collection video? Like, just a video going over video games in my collection. Because I have a couple games with some story attached to it, and also I just kind of want to show it off. This is for me. This is an egotistical project for me. Let's just be honest. It's for me. We're going to start here in this tiny-ass room that used to be where my computer was and where I did all of my filming and streams from. And we'll be moving out to the bedroom and then to the living room at some point. Now, I'm going to film this and the bedroom today, and then tomorrow I'm going to film the living room. Why does that matter? Because I might change my shirt. My face might magically be shaved in the living room. So, just figured I'd let you know. But we're gonna start in here, and what I have in here currently are just some Game Boy games and Game Boy. So I figured I'd just show you some of that stuff. So we're gonna cut down to the coveted table camera and go over that. So, see you there. Welcome to the table with no Akira mouse pad. That is with my computer in the living room. So, you're dealing with this one. So, here I just kind of want to go over some Game Boy games and the Game Boy that I have. It's just going to kind of be quick, dirty, simple. First things first, here is a complete inboxed copy of Pokemon Green. I go over a little bit more of this in a short that has been uploaded already by the time this comes out. But yeah, it's complete in box with all of the inserts, the game itself, everything is great. The box has some wear and tear here, but you know, I'm not really looking for like pristine perfection, whatever. I just want to make sure that what is in here and what is on the outside is preserved in some sort of way, because that's really the point for video game collecting for me. Comes down to a lot of just like preserving this stuff for the future, right? Because eventually all of this stuff, I just had Metroid Prime or Metroid Fusion just sitting here, but all of this stuff is going to degrade eventually. So I like to make sure that I try to keep it in the best possible condition I can for as long as I can, just to ensure that this stuff doesn't die out faster than it needs to, you know? Stuff that normal people do. You get it. I know that a lot of people have tried to figure out ways to store Game Boy games. Like, how do you store them and display them so that not only for you to see them or people to see them, but so that you can kind of catalog and know what you have. So if you go to like a yard sale and you go, oh my god, there's Metroid Fusion. I don't remember if I have that. I'm gonna get it. And you spend $30 on that, and now you have 2. How do you avoid doing that? You don't. But there are ways to work around. There are people on like Etsy and stuff that make cases, custom cases. That's expensive. I don't do that. I'm cheap. I do have like a spreadsheet of every game that I own, and it's saved to a Google Drive. So if I see a game that I want at a sale, I will pull it up and look at it there. If it's not on the list, then I probably don't have it, or I forgot about it and we just take the risk and get it anyway. But the big issue comes with, how do you store these things? How do you store them so you know where they're at? Because Game Boy Advance games, they're tiny. They're gonna get lost. So what do? I got this thing. So I'm gonna move the camera up, but yeah, there's an empty bottle of gin. Don't worry about it. It was set decoration for a stream and a battery. So that hit my foot. That hurt. So also, I'm sorry about the iPhone mic. I didn't fucking feel like setting up like a whole microphone setup. So this, I don't even know what you'd call this. I'm not even sure like what. Storage organizer. That's what you'd call it. I think this is for people who do like arts and crafts and stuff that actually matters. I got Game Boy games in here and some DS games, which we'll go over promptly. So some of the DS games have fallen out. Oh my god. Well, it's fine. We'll find out where they go. So drawer number 1 just has some Game Boy games. I'm gonna try to position them up here so you can see them all. I guess I can try to specify like which ones were in my childhood. These 3 were childhood games that I got for Christmas or birthdays or whatever. These are stuff I've gotten afterwards, which good going. Two Namco and a Midway Museum greatest hits arcade compilation. Woo, but they're fun. They're neat. And this I just got because I like King Kong. It's not a great game, but big monkey. So there's that one. These I have a little bit more history with. This was my first Game Boy Advance game ever. I was like 4, and I didn't understand what was happening because it's an RPG and I had to read. But you know what? Playing it again and fairly recently with my reading comprehension a little bit higher than I was as a 4-year-old. This game's pretty fucking good. Honestly, I really like this one. Of course, the SpongeBob games, had to get those. This is also a childhood game. The Star Wars one is also a childhood game. Sonic Advance 2, if you've watched the Childhood Trauma video, you know that this was a childhood game because the Supersonic segment in this game scared me. Also, I used to mark my Game Boy Advance games with a T written in pen because my cousins had Game Boy Advance games and I wanted to make sure that we didn't lose them with each other. Sonic Battle, that was also a childhood game. This game is, it's Sonic Battle. Tony Hawk Pro Underground 2 and Super Mario Brothers... Jesus, what is this called? Super Mario Advanced 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. I hate that. This is, I think this is one of my first Mario games. I know I played the original first on NES, and we'll get into that later, but this was like my first... This is my Mario game. And you can still see the faded T. But, yeah, this... I remember playing this one with my mom a lot. Those memories are very, very fond. Pro Underground 2, I saw my cousin playing it, and I wanted it because Tony Hawk could bleed, and blood in a video game was cool. Alright, drawer number 3. Oh my god, would you believe? Yeah, so, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I don't know when or how or where or when or why this got into my possession. However, I do remember being very sick, and my mom used to work at a bank, and I remember being super sick that I hid in the back room at the bank. I went to work with my mom, and I hid in the back room, and I played that, and there's a level, stage, whatever in the game, where the background's swirling and twirling all around, and it made me sick that I throwed up. So that's the memory I have with that. Also, J.K. Rowling sucks, so get out of here. This, if you believe it or not, is Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I think this is a reproduction. I don't know. The label, when it was here, was just a printed off piece of paper. It's gone now because the glue gave out, and it never saved. I just thought Kirby and the Forgotten, or the Magic Mirror, Mystery Mirror, whatever the hell it's called, just didn't have a save feature. But I guess it did. Also, the cartridge is, like, falling apart. Like, I think this is a reproduction. I have no idea. I don't really care. It's fine. It's going in the bin. Oh my god, there's the label. Whoa. What is this game called? Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Yeah, it's just the title screen on there. Like, with the game starting the language select. So I have no idea. It's the weirdest thing I have. I have no straight answers on it, and I haven't really cared to look either. Alright, come here, Harry Potter. You can get back in, I guess, you piece of shit. Door number 4, this is a small obsession of mine. So these are all ones on the floor. These are all Game Boy Advance video games. And what I mean by that is they are just episodes of the show on a Game Boy cartridge. Do they look good? No, but at the time, this was your way to portably watch episodes of SpongeBob, or Pokemon, or The Proud Family, or whatever Cartoon Network stuff was on here, and Shrek. I have Shrek. I got a little obsessed with these, and started going out of my way to collect them. I wanted to make sure I didn't have any more, because I thought it'd be really funny to have a full collection of these, and I still think that would be funny. I'm still on the lookout for these, because boy, that'd be funny. However, the I think it's Shrek 2 and Shark Tale combo video is, like, actually expensive for some reason. And that's the one that I've been afraid of. So, the hunt has slowed down quite a bit. But, you know, we might pick it back up at some point. We'll see. Alright, drawer number 5. Oh my god, it's more Game Boy Advance games. Just those. These were 2 childhood games, for sure. I know, I remember having, I remember playing this at my great-grandma's, and she would watch me play Mario Golf on my tiny little Game Boy Advance SP because she liked golf and wanted to see a Mario version of golf. And that was fun. Yeah, I like those memories. They're fun. This, I was so excited to get. I remember beating it in a day, and I remember trying to 100% it. And there's a level in the Return of the Jedi, I can't remember which level. I think the mini kit to get is impossible to get. I don't think that you can actually get it. So it frustrated me beyond belief, and I hated it from that point on. But I still have a soft spot for LEGO Star Wars 2 on the Game Boy Advance. Later on in my childhood, I'll say around like 13, 14, I got real into Godzilla and haven't really stopped. So I found this Godzilla game on the Game Boy Advance, had to grab it. It is just an arena fighter. Kind of think of like a King of the Monsters or something like that. It's that with a Godzilla skin. Drawer number 6. There's the DS games. There they are. Yeah. Some of these I have cases for, some of them I don't. In the Scramble not really necessarily the scramble, but in the... It's always a fucking scramble when you move. When moving, shit kind of got a little funky, and I lost where the cases are. They're in a box somewhere. They're either still at my mom's or they're here somewhere, and I just forgot. But these are, I think, all of the DS games that I have. Yes, these are all of the DS games that I have currently, at least without a case. I have way more DS games, but Sonic Rush and Sim Animals were childhood games. I remember me and a cousin would play this at a family reunion, and we thought it was really funny to throw the rabbits around. Don't do that, but man, oh god. Lego Indiana Jones, played that a bunch. Club Penguin, Club Force, what the hell is this game called? Elite Penguin Force. I played this a ton. I never played Club Penguin, the actual MMO. I played this, and no one knows what the hell I'm talking about when I tell them about this. Hot Wheels World Race, or Hot Wheels Beat That is what it's called. That was my Mario Kart. I never owned Mario Kart until Mario Kart 7. Sonic Rush was one of my second Sonic game, I think, after Advance 2. And it was really confusing because Sonic would go from the top screen to the bottom at will, depending on how fast you were going and where it was at, and it was hell. Got used to it though. Really enjoy Sonic Rush. These Guitar Hero games were awesome. They had an accessory that plugged into the bottom of a DS or a DS or a DS Lite, where you gave you 4 Guitar Hero things: the green, red, yellow, and blue. And yeah, it was just full-fledged Guitar Hero games on a DS. It was awesome. One of the first Guitar Hero games I think I remember playing. SimCity Creator, okay, well, that's about my opinion on it anyway. Lego Star Wars 2, or Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Somebody lent me this game when I was a kid, and then they moved. And then they never got it back. So, Fred, if you're out there and you want it, find me, I guess. This was, yep. Don't know what that, I think that came with a DS that I bought, maybe. This Little Pet Shop game, though, that one was mine. I wanted this one. B-Movie was a game my cousin had that he gave to me because he hated it, and same. Meet the Robinsons was a game my cousin had and gave it to me because he didn't like it. I don't remember. And it looks like it's been through the ringer. Ew. But yeah, those are the DS games that I have currently that don't have a box. So, yay. That's the wrong drawer. Yay. And like I said, this isn't really like a... Here's how to display them. This is purely organization-based. Oh yes, my one lone 3DS game. Resident Evil Revelations. This was, I can't remember if I ever had a case for this or not. I just remember having it, and then I didn't have it for a bit, and then I found just the game, and I decided to throw it in here immediately so it wouldn't get lost, and I never found the case. But I love Revelations on the 3DS. I have never played any of the console ports. I have it on the Switch now, though, so I will eventually. But I love that game being a 3DS game. And the final drawer, this is the Pokemon stuff. These are all reproduction cartridges, I believe. Maybe not one of them. I can't get this open. I know this one's reproduction. This one is the one real. Leaf Green is real, and Emerald is also a reproduction. Why did you get reproduction games when you should claim it's about preservation? Because I just wanted to fucking play these games, god damn it. It was COVID, everybody was playing Pokemon, the prices of these skyrocketed, I wanted to complete the Pokedex for Soul Silver, so I needed to get these, and I figured out that I only needed one legitimate purchase. I have this and a real copy of Sapphire. So what I can do is catch a bunch of Rattata in that, trade over the exclusive Pokemon for these into this one, and then use the real cartridge to put the Pokemon into Soul Silver. Why did I do this? I don't know. Did I ever finish it? No, but I have them now, so neat. But if I ever want to get real copies, I know that they're out there. They're out there somewhere. I just have to be thrifty and wait for a good price, but will that ever happen? Yeah, it's going back in the drawer. Alright, so that was the Game Boy Advance games. Now, what are these? Well, these are Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games. So, I can't put them all up here. Yeah, I guess I could. Fuck 'em. So, I can go through and tell you exactly which ones I had as a kid. This was a game my cousin had, I didn't like. This was my first Kid Icarus game, and I don't want to say I fell in love with the series here. It was definitely Uprising that made me fall in love with it, but I did enjoy this game quite a bit. Men in Black, I bought at a flea market. It's just a side-scrolling shooter. It's fine. Godzilla, based on the series, based on the 1998 movie that everybody loves. It's okay. It's like an auto-scrolling, auto-walker, giant monster thing. It's fine. Paperboy, my dad really liked this one. This was one of the first video games I've ever played, I think, and I didn't understand it. But my dad, I know, really liked this one, so it was kind of cool because my dad doesn't play video games, like, ever. So it was cool to see my dad participating in a hobby that I enjoy because of Paperboy on the Game Boy. So, there's that. This, I remember being my first example of using the internet. I dropped it. I wanted to figure out how to beat a level, and I couldn't, so I had to look it up online, and I didn't find the answer, but it was my first memory of using the internet. I probably Googled, like, how beat level, and wasn't specific about what game it was, and Google didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I remember getting this at an antique store, and I just thought it was really funny that they had Game Boy games at an antique store. That's all I have to say about that one. Nicktoons Racing, I remember playing a ton. Is it any good? I don't know, man, it's Nicktoons Racing. Golf, can't tell you what golf, but it's golf. PGA Europe, something or other, I don't know. The label ripped off when I was a kid, so I just took a red Sharpie and wrote golf. But it almost looks like I wrote golf, so funny. Dr. Mario, I remember playing a lot. I think my mom used to play that one a lot as well, and she kind of was the reason I know how to play it, because she had to show me, because I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Heineke Alien? Halanke Alien? Don't know. I wrote an E on the back of it and my name. I guess I wanted to write the ESRB rating because it didn't have one. I don't know. This is like a Pac-Man clone from what I remember. I genuinely don't know how to describe this game. It's odd. It's not bad, it's just odd. I mean, it's a fucking boxing game. I don't know. That wasn't a childhood game. I don't think I've ever played it. Raging Fighter, that also was never something I played. Some of these games came with a Game Boy that I bought, which I will show you eventually, and I'll demonstrate that. But there's that drawer. We got this one. Alright. This is a large collection of games that I actually played a lot as a kid. The Donkey Kong Land series I adored, 2 and 3 especially. 1, you know, it's 1. I loved these games. They're not that great, but I adored these fucking things. They were the closest to the Super Nintendo's Donkey Kong Country 2 that I could get. And I had Donkey Kong Country 2, but I wanted to play it on the go, and this was as close as I could get. So for that, I love these games, but they're not very good. Also, I think I wrote Pokemon on one because I thought it'd be funny if people were looking through my bag of games and saw Pokemon and were like, oh my god, is that Pokemon Yellow? Oh, so... yeah, I was an amazing and hilarious child, but whatever, it's fine. Pick out a couple of these just because I know exactly where they came from. Wario Land 2, DuckTales, and Double Dragon I bought at a mom-and-pop game shop before I went to college because I was like, I'm gonna get a couple things before I go to college and say goodbye to everyone I know and love. I came back home in 6 months, but whatever, you know, you make decisions. I played each one of these. The DuckTales game is actually pretty close to the NES one, just very screen crunched. Wario Land 2 is fucking awesome. Double Dragon, it's Double Dragon on the Game Boy. It tried. Spy vs. Spy, this was a game my cousin had and hated, so it's mine now. That's all I ever really say about it. Pac-Man, it's Pac-Man. Pit Fighter, also came with a Game Boy that I bought that I will show off in a minute. It's not great. Bart Simpson Escape from Camp Deadly, I think came with a Game Boy that my aunt gave me that was broken, and I have it, you know. Bart Simpson Escape from Camp Deadly, come on. This is my coveted game I used to clean out Game Boy cartridge slots in Game Boys by just soaking it in rubbing alcohol and then dipping it in. This is the sacrificial game. I just kind of chose it to be that. It's not because it's like that bad or whatever, it's just what I chose. I don't know. And lastly, we have Wizards and Warriors 10, Fortress of Fear. I don't know what happened. Your guess is as good as mine as to what happened here. I have no idea, but I remember playing this a lot as a kid and not liking it. I kind of like it now. It's okay. Like, it's nothing special, but I get what it was trying to do. I'm picking up what it's putting down. We're almost done with the Game Boy games, I promise. This is going to be a long video. Tom and Jerry for the Game Boy Color. I think I bought this at a flea market. It's fine. You know, Tom and Jerry for the Game Boy Color. Super Mario Land. This was at my great-grandmother's house. She had 2 old Game Boys there. One that was like the basic beige color and then one that was black. I don't have the black one anymore. I did have to sell that one off. I still have the beige one though, and you will see that eventually. This is great. It's not an amazing game, but it's Mario on the Game Boy. It's like 30 minutes long. It's fine. It's fun for what it is, and I enjoy it. Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land was the first Wario game, and I really liked this game as a kid. I thought it was super fun and weird and off-putting and strange, and I adored it. I also have a lot of memories of playing this one with my mom when we'd go upstate to a cabin where my dad would go hunt, and I would try to get into hunting, but it just never clicked. There was always Wario Land waiting at home, waiting at the cabin for me and my mom to play, so it's there. While I'm on the Mario Land kick, we'll just move 6 golden coins out. This one's also great. This is probably the best one on Game Boy. That being said, suffers from a bit of slowdown. They've really tried to push the Game Boy to its limit with this one. It's a little rough in hindsight. However, as a child, loved this game. Awesome. The Ninja Turtle games that I have Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan and Ninja Turtles Back from the Sewer. Bought this one at a mom and pop game shop. No real memories attached to it. This one I had as a kid. I thought you could jump on the enemies to beat them. No, you couldn't, and I kept losing, and it made me mad, and I never played it. But then, as like a teenager, I went back to play it and beat it, and it's pretty good. It's a good Ninja Turtle game. You know what? I'm gonna say it. This game's all right. Star Wars. It's basically like NES Star Wars. I think there was an NES Star Wars game. I think also made by JVC. It's okay. It's not great. Honestly, I don't really like this game that much, but I'm sure somebody out there does. The Tiny Toons games, I played these a lot with my mom because we used to like Tiny Toons before Nicktoons stopped playing it. But this and Animaniacs, we used to watch a lot, and then Nicktoons stopped playing it because they hate me. But these are fine 2D platformers. There's nothing too great about it, except this one has like a horror themed level, and it has I'll try to find it and play it here, but it has that one classical song. I'll know what I'm talking about. It'll be right here if I can find it. Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. This is a little beat up. This wasn't mine as a child. I think I bought this secondhand. This is the best way to play the original Mario Brothers, except it's not because of screen crunch, because Nintendo likes to do this funny thing where they release the best version of a game, and with a bunch of content, and with a bunch of stupid shit it didn't need, and then put it on a console that can't play it correctly. So it's the best version, and it's not. It's annoying, and I hate this company. I dearly love this company, but I hate them. Space Invaders on Game Boy. I wrapped an Atari sticker on this, and I don't know why, but I did it. It's not even by Atari, it's by Taito. It's Space Invaders. I don't know what you want. The last drawer used to be a bunch of Pokemon games. I have now thus moved them to kind of pseudo be on display. You'll see them in the living room video, but I've got the Pokemon trading card game. I didn't understand how to play it. I didn't understand how to play this as a kid. Still don't. I missed Pokemon Blue. I forget where I got this, but this was not my childhood Pokemon game. Mine was Yellow. But Blue is just yellow again, but it's not yellow, it's blue. It's fine. I feel like everybody has played a Gen 1 Pokemon game at some point. It's that, but blue. And Pokemon Pinball. And I used to play this one. Pokemon Game 4. It's Pokemon Game 4. It is not Pokemon Pinball. 5-year-old me wrote Pokemon Game 4. That's what... I also put a 4 there just to specify. If you couldn't read the Roman numeral, that's the 4. Wow, that was awesome. What the hell did I write there? Okay. So anyway, yeah, this is a Game Boy Pokemon game, or a Game Boy pinball game with Pokemon theming, and it had a rumble pack in it, where the game would rumble depending on what's going on in the game, and in order to do that, you would slide a AAA battery into here. There's supposed to be a battery cover. I don't have that. I don't think I ever had that, so it's not here. But that's it for the Game Boy games, except it's not. I got one more doozy to show you. I love this, okay? That's how you know it's quality. This Game Boy is not like a rare or expensive Game Boy, but it is in like the most pristine, perfect condition I've ever seen an old Game Boy for. And I bought it like this. It was for sale on at the time Let Go. I think it's called Offer Up now. For $40, and it came with a bunch of games like Pit Fighter and those other games that I said came with this Game Boy. So it came with that. It came with a bunch of just random instruction manuals, which was cool. maybe I got Camp Deadly from this, I don't remember, but yeah, it came with all of these: Raging Fighter, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and a Game Boy instruction booklet. It came with all these extra instruction manuals, which is sick. I love having this paper stuff that people threw away. And I have used it now to put some games in. I wanted to buy Pokemon Red because it's the only Game Boy Pokemon game I don't have. I made the purchase. It turned out to be Japanese. Thanks, Amazon. Donkey Kong 94, whatever it's called. This is a great game. If you haven't played it, fucking do it. It's the just original Donkey Kong with like 96 more levels. It's awesome. And then my poor beat up copy of Tetris. Again, like with Wizards of Warriors 10, I don't know what happened here. It still works, and it's Game Boy Tetris. It's my favorite version of Tetris. It is just super simple, but that's great, because it's Tetris. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this, because I really like this display case. I think this is sick, and it's like an officially Nintendo branded thing. I'm not sure what this sticker was. I haven't really looked into this display case too much, but I'm wondering like what it was. So if anybody knows what it is, please let me know, because I really like this thing. And then of course I've mentioned it a bunch of times, but this was the Game Boy that was at my grandma's. My great grandmother had this at her house, and I used to play on this thing all the time. Even though I had a Game Boy Advance SP, there was something so nice about just taking one of these big bitches and sliding it in here and just getting that like oomph. I don't know. I couldn't see what the fuck was happening half the time. There's no batteries in it, thank God. But I couldn't see what was going on half the time because the screen is terrible. But I don't know, there's something very nostalgic about this. I keep going back and forth as to whether or not I want to mod this and put a backlit screen in this and keep everything else the same, or if I just want to leave it as is, because, you know, it's a part of my childhood. My great-grandmother isn't here anymore, so it's kind of nice just to have this as like a keepsake. Not that this was her Game Boy, but it was there, and I remember having very distinct memories of playing it there a lot. So I think I'm probably just going to keep it as is, and I'm also going to keep the clear Game Boy as is, so I think I'll need to get another one if I want to mod it for sentimental reasons, but you know, it is what it is. And of course, this was my daily driver Game Boy as a child. The paint has started to come off a little bit, which is sad. But I used this, and like only this, all the time. This is a limited edition SpongeBob Game Boy Advance SP, and this was my screen's a little dusty because I have it displayed out in the bedroom, but this was my go-to Game Boy. Does it still have a charge? Oh my god! But okay, this was a special model SP1, I think, where you can make the screen brighter. And it was actually like fully, not just backlit, but a full-on lit-up LCD. And I loved this thing. I had a silver Game Boy before this, but this, when I got this for like my 8th birthday or so, this became my daily Game Boy. And you can tell it's been through quite a lot. It's been through a lot of love and a lot of play sessions. I adored this thing. However, as an adult, I think that I still have the old crusty one in here. I think that the Game Boy Advances like this are much more form factor and comfortable, this was Cole's old one that we used in that mod, so there's like no components in this. But I think form factor wise, these are the best ones, but god, I mean, it's really small. Each are really small, but this was my Game Boy, man. That was the one this is the one I used all the time.